blood everywhere, blood in the pool. She goes, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's jalapeno poppers." Welcome to Colt Classic. I'm Colton, the host, and tonight I'm going to try something different in an effort to talk about myself a little more, because I know everyone is extremely excited for that. I'm going to be drinking this bottle of blackberry wine and telling the story why I can't drink Fireball anymore. This was $14. Stella Rosa blackberry. I haven't drank a fruity wine in quite some time. So if you're watching, you're going to get the full immaculate experience that I put together here. If you're listening, just imagine me as I am now. Extremely handsome and in a very official podcast studio. That's so sweet. Not much of the wine. You know what? I am a wine guy. I like a Savvy B. I don't hate red wine either. And mostly I don't drink fruity wine because there's so much sugar in it. But I saw this at the liquor store and I was like, I can get into this. And I thought it'll loosen me up a little bit. And it kind of fits the vibe of the story because I can't drink Fireball. Also, I just didn't have anything to talk about. I've been really busy doing stuff with my car and my job, and haven't really been watching anything. I mean, the only thing I can really think of to talk about would be the Green Lantern trailer and what concerns I have for the future of the DCU movie universe, which I will get into eventually. I want to be positive about it, but James Gunn, I really need you to get your shit together. But this is the story time about a very fateful night that happened to me in high school. So, as you know, I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Harlan, Kentucky, which is a very small town in the middle of nowhere. As you could imagine, there really ain't much going on there. Back then we had a movie theater. I am aware now that the movie theater has closed. And there'd be like businesses pop up, like, fun, like exciting things that you could do as a person for fun or for like fun for kids, but there ain't nothing like that no more. And even then it was slim pickings for sure. So everyone starts drinking early because that's all there is to do there. I started drinking in the 7th grade. It was Tavarsky, which is 100 proof vodka we bought from this guy named Corky. My friends at work love this story now. You bought from a guy named Corky, this old man, a bootlegger, because my county's dry. At least it was then. Now it's wet and there's a liquor store and it's crazy to me. But you couldn't buy alcohol in the county. There was this guy named Corky who sold only Tavarsky. Well, when it come to liquor, he sold other stuff too, I think. Corky would sell bottles of like plastic fifths of Tavarsky for about $10, I think, out of a hole in a wall of his trailer. So unless you knew somebody who was over 21 that was going out of town, you really couldn't get liquor. But Corky would sell Tavarsky, and it's 100 proof vodka, and it mixed well with Powerade or Gatorade. Well, actually, somebody, and I'm not going to name any names, that I know ratted on Corky for some reason. He got arrested, and I think he's still in jail. On one such occasion, wherever I was able to get a different kind of alcohol, people were passing around Fireball. Now, I got really drunk on Fireball multiple times in early high school. I thought it tasted like candy. I couldn't get enough of it. Couldn't taste the liquor in it. It was great. Loved it. anytime I was able to get my hands on it, I wanted it and nothing else. Shout out to Jessie Cochran. Don't know if you want me saying your name on the internet, but I think she'd love this story. Love you, Jessie. Lived in a little town called Everts, which is kind of up there, kind of way up there. And she would throw these big house parties. And her sister was older too, in school still. And so they would have these big house parties, and her sister would bring her friends who were older high school kids, and Jessie would bring hers who were younger, of course. So it was kind of a mixed age group. And then you also have these people who come out of nowhere to any party that's going, any house party. Like there's a culture of people that just populate at any given house party that was going on. These are people I only ever saw at parties. Multiple of these people would show up, and you know what? They're fun. Trashy but fun. I love trashy. I feel comfortable in around trashy people. I just understand them. They liked me because I would clean. I would get drunk and I would clean. They would be there. They knew this stuff was going on, and like once the night was winding down, I would take to the kitchen, and I would scrub, and I would wash dishes, and I would put stuff away, throw all the trash away. I think I'm not going to a lot of house parties these days, but I don't know if this is a quality that I've kept. But back in the day, I was a drunk cleaner. Once it got time, I clocked in, I got to work. She had multiple of these parties. Couldn't even tell you how many. And this was not my first one neither. Probably wasn't the first one I was drinking Fireball at, but it was the last. So Jessie, she had a pool. She had like an above ground pool in her backyard. This is very important to the story. It was one of those metal pools, like the sides of it are metal, that you basically put together, and it's probably like 5 feet tall, maybe a little more. But they had built a deck around it. So if you were standing on the deck of the pool, you could just slip in. You know, it was just like right at level with the edge of the pool. And this was a wild night. I had drank a good fifth of Fireball. I was burning it down. Like I said, I couldn't taste the liquor in it. I was tearing through it, and I probably had other stuff too. Now, mind you, this is going to come back important later. The only thing I had to eat before this, that entire day, was 2 orders of jalapeno poppers from Arby's. We get to drinking. It's hot. People want to go swimming. I was in the pool, any chance I get and to be underwater, I will take it. This was one such occasion. Everybody was swimming, having a good time. I am hammered out of my mind. I can't remember who started it, but at some point, people wanted to start jumping off of the deck and onto the pool. And when I say jumping off the deck, I mean like the handles around it. So you were jumping from quite a height from the actual ground. I wish I had a diagram for this, but I don't. So just imagine above ground pool, the deck, and then like the banister around the deck. And that's like the highest level there is. And people are standing on this and jumping into the pool, which ain't that crazy. I've seen people. I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and I was talking about another house party I went to, and I saw somebody fall off a roof. It wasn't that crazy. Like I said, there wasn't much to do, and we were just keeping ourselves entertained. So I think it's a great idea to do that too. So I get up there, I'm on the banister of this deck, and I do some kind of flip into the pool. It was a success. I made it in. Yeah, it was a good time. Got back to swimming again, whatever. And I thought the first time went so well that I would do it again. So I climb out of the pool. I get on the deck. I step up onto the banister. And then I walk to the edge. And this is where it all goes wrong. I jump off, and the next thing I know, I felt a pressure to my face, fast, boom. And then I remember floating in the pool. I remember some kind of reaction from the crowd, and a couple of the bystanders had to come and get me out of the pool. So I jumped off of the banister. I'm like maybe 16. And I smack my face on the rim of this metal pool. I'm dragged out of it. There was blood, and I'll never forget, somebody gave me their American flag towel. It was a beach towel, but with the American flag design, to hold up against the blood. I'm gonna have to get close for this. You may not be able to see. And here goes my face getting red drinking. There is a scar there. When I hit the side of the pool, it busted a hole 99% of the way through my mouth. There was a wound on the outside, and there was a wound on the inside. And the only thing keeping the light from shining through was the thinnest membrane of skin you could imagine. I absolutely needed stitches, but I got none. Somebody told me it looked like Jaws in the pool. There was so much blood, but I didn't see that. To make matters worse, this is what started off. To make matters worse, I begun to feel sick. I'm taken to the bathroom. This is the first chance I get to look in the mirror and see the damage. And they say alcohol makes your blood thinner. I take the towel off my face. Blood gushing, like fast as fuck, and I'm scared. So I just put the towel back on, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck did I do? What's going on? Why did I do that? Can't believe this happened. Jesse's sister comes in. She's mad as fuck. Rightfully so, because she told me not to act a fool, and I end up doing it. So I started to get sick. I'm sitting next to the commode, right next to it, and throwing up in the floor. I don't even know if a drop of my puke got in the toilet. And there's something interesting about my puke. Another friend of mine, same grade as me and Jesse, Taylor, walks in. Another Taylor. Taylor Smith. She's like, "Are you okay?" Just standing in the door, because I'm sure she was drunk too. And I'm like, "Yeah." I put on a brave face. And she looks at my puke on the floor. She goes, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's jalapeno poppers. I have scattered every jalapeno that I ate." And sometimes I don't chew when I eat that much. And this was the after. I had scattered with my throw up jalapenos all over the floor in this bathroom. And that's all that I remember from that night. Eventually, it stopped bleeding. Thank the Lord. And I think I stayed there that night, if I'm not wrong. What's funnier is that it started to scar in the shape of a perfect C right here. Boom. I know I got a picture on my phone. I make it home, and my story was that I had just tripped, caught myself on the floor, but my face hit the side of a table. I couldn't open my mouth for a week to eat. I did not eat much that week. It seemed like I was in so much pain, and the fact that I didn't get an infection to this day is crazy to me. Maybe it was because of the chlorine. I don't know. Everybody has the story about Fireball. Ever since that night, I can't even chew cinnamon gum. I like cinnamon in my food, and there have been times I've flirted with cinnamon flavored stuff. I just don't think I'm the biggest fan of it anyway, and that probably has a lot to do with it. But for the longest time, it would make me so sick. Just the taste or the flavor or something. I don't think I've had Fireball to this day. And every now and then people want to get it out. Yeah, so I busted the fuck out of my face on the side of a pool. I remember this in flashes. I remember certain people coming up to me, the aftermath. I don't even remember much about the beginning of the party. A drop of Fireball will never touch my lips again. But this bottle of blackberry wine, well, I gotta stop talking. Okay, thank you. This has been another cult classic. Fuck y'all.